In 2017, I was the worst salesperson in my dealership. I actually skipped college to sell cars, but I lived with my grandma and a friend who also lived with my grandma. And in 2024, I was the top salesperson in my dealership every single month, by far, doubling the next person. And I was able to accomplish all of this through social media, but I ran into this problem. The social media content that I was making when I was selling 8 cars a month, 9 cars a month, 10 cars a month, it was easy because I had time to make the videos. And if you're selling 8, 9, 10, 12 cars a month, you probably don't need this video right now. This is definitely for some high achievers that actually don't have time to make content. So I had to figure out a way on how to make content. And in this video, I'm going to give you 3 really good ways to make content if you're actually super busy. So let's dive right in. So is it actually possible to make content every single day if you're selling 25, 30 cars a month? It absolutely is. I have guys that I've coached like Sean here or Corey or Andrea or the Car Father. These are all extremely busy people. I mean, selling 25, 30, 40, 50, 60 cars a month. The Car Father manages 5 dealerships that all sell hundreds of cars, and he's in charge of all of them, and he still finds time to make content. So how do you actually make content? Well, here's the first tip I'm going to walk you guys through. The first tip and the easiest, and no one actually thinks of this, is batching content. I came up with this out of a necessity. The content creation that had taken me from 8 cars a month to the mid to lower 30s was actually now getting hard to do because I didn't have time to make the content. And I was like, well, if I stop making the content, I'm going to stop getting sales. I have all these people coming from social media, but if I don't keep doing social media, I'm going to lose all these people and I'm not going to sell any more cars next month. So I was at this like between a rock and a hard place. Like, how do I make content? I really don't have the time. And I had to make a commitment that I was either going to come in early, stay late, or actually come in on my off day. Yes, I would go to the dealership when they were closed and make content during those days and then edit it and then post it during the week. And I know this sounds hard, and it wasn't easy. It was certainly hard, but those are the things you have to do if you want to go to the next level. I mean, me and my brother were at the dealership at 5 a.m. sometimes, making content, 6 a.m., making content. And this is actually what I still do. I like to batch content. So what is batching content? Most of you guys don't show up with a plan. When I go to make content, I actually have written down the video ideas I'm going to do. I don't believe in a script per se, but I do have ideas and I've thought through them in my head. So then when I show up, I know what I'm going to say. And I try to do between 5 to 8 videos at a time, sometimes 10 videos if I have extra time or I just have a bunch of ideas. This is how you can get a bunch of content out. Then you schedule it all out. Or if you're like me, I actually never preferred to schedule. I like to post day of, because I'll talk about this in a little bit, but sometimes I'd still like to make a video, even as busy as I was, and I'll talk about the strategy, how to make videos when you're extremely busy. But tip number 1 is you gotta learn to batch content, and it does require effort. There were times that when we were slow, I would batch content during the actual work hours. My work was okay with it. Hopefully yours is. If they're not, you're gonna have to do whatever they want you to do, cold call, or, just stand by the front door. My dealership saw the value in me making content. So if I was to say, hey, for the next hour and a half, unless that customer comes and asks for me, I'm gonna be on the lot, out back, in this office with the camera, making content. But let's dive into tip number 2. Tip number 2 is learning to make videos in one take. Yes, what does that mean? That means literally pulling your phone out and just talking to it. And even if you make mistakes, just powering through. If you try to be a perfectionist, it is going to take a while to make content. That's why I see a lot of high achievers, because you guys are perfectionists. If you're selling 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60 cars a month, you're like, man, everything I do is perfect. It's to a T. Well, you're going to try to do the same thing with your content. And actually, some of the most viral videos ever that people have made were like the ones that they least expected to make go viral. Like this one I made right here in Australia. This video, I actually mumbled in this video. The lighting was bad and I went viral. I got like 10 million views, and actually news articles, I'm sure we can put it up here, picked up this video in Australia that I took at the gas station. And it wasn't even a video that I was going to post. I actually made the video, just put on like a story, like an Instagram story, not to my feed. And it went so viral just on my Instagram story. I'm like, I'm going to post this on my TikTok, on my Instagram, my Facebook. Went crazy viral. The next day I had news articles calling me. But that's because I just made a video in one take without even thinking about it. If you're selling 20, 25, 30, 35 cars a month, you should be able to speak for a minute straight without making too many mistakes. If you can't, you got a little work to do, but it gets easier as you go. My buddy Sean right here, who's selling like 15 cars a month just from social media, told me, man, Russ, you were right. At first, it was really hard, but after like that 5th video, I could just talk to the camera like I was talking to my girlfriend or my buddy at work. It was nothing. But it is a little awkward at first, but there's only one way to get through that barrier of like, I feel awkward on camera, which is through repetition. So you need to force yourself to make those first couple videos. And another secret, if you get really good at doing it on one take, you have to do like no editing. So if you can just get it all done in one take, you have literally no editing to do. You can maybe just put some words on the screen, edit the beginning and the end of the video, and just throw it up. But that's tip number 2. You got to learn to just start making videos in one take. let's dive into tip number 3. And before I get into the third tip, if you want to check out my online training, it's not for everyone, but if you're a high achiever and you actually want to learn these skills and compress the amount of time you learn in, that's exactly what Andrea did. She learned how to do it, and here we are 6 months later, and she has a huge brand. She's gained over 100,000 followers on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and YouTube using our methods. If you're a high achiever, you can figure it out, but if you don't have the time to film, I don't know if you're gonna have the time to figure it out, and that's what coaching and trading is all about. But let's dive into tip number 3. Tip number 3 is gonna sound cliche, but you have to be obsessed. And let me go a little bit deeper into this. If you are obsessed with making content, you will find time. What do I mean by that? I remember one Saturday I sold 5 cars and I was super upset I did not make a video. So what did I do? I pulled my phone out, walking back to my car, parked maybe 100 yards away, and I recorded myself walking to my car, getting in my car, starting my car, and then I sat there for another 45 seconds to a minute, and then pulled off, posted it when I got home. Everything is content. Some of my students make it with their customer when they're delivering it. Hey, I got a customer we just sold a car to. She saw me on TikTok. Let's go make a video. And they're just pulling their phones out. Everything is content when you're obsessed. When you're always thinking about what's the next video, it becomes easier, it becomes more fun. And this obsession is what has gotten you to be a high achiever in sales. You're probably obsessed with what you do. If you become obsessed with the content, it's going to be so much easier because you're going to want to do it and you're going to find reasons to do it. And you're going to find all these situations and things that are now videos. But I hear a lot of people say, I don't have any ideas. That's because you probably never sat down and thought about it. And you're not going to sit down and think about it unless you're obsessed with it. So if you become obsessed with making content, it will save you time, guaranteed. Let me know in the comments. If you're in car sales and you're not making content, is it just because you don't want to, don't think you need to, don't know how to? I get it why somebody who's selling 8 cars a month might not want to make content. They're like, hey, I'm still trying to figure out how to sell cars. But if you're a heavy hitter and you're selling a lot of cars, I don't know why you wouldn't make content. It's the easiest way for you to follow up with your past customers, on a daily basis. They're going to see your face, your beautiful face every day, and they're going to see you, be reminded of you, and then it's the best way to get new leads. Any top sales guy I ever talked to, they have one problem. I just need more customers. So if you want more customers, you need to start doing social media today.